From the NFL Combine in Indy, news right now, Adam Schefter just reported that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to undergo surgery on his shoulder, the one that he injured against Dallas in the wild card round. So it's not going to be an injury on the, it's not going to be a surgery on the finger. It's going to be on the shoulder for Jimmy Garoppolo, and he probably won't be able to throw until about July 4th. So this is all from Adam Schefter, and this all comes as the 49ers are obviously looking to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. So we'll see how this impacts the value, the status, but the fact that this injury should be resolved, should be rehabilitated from before training camp means that there should still be interest in Jimmy Garoppolo, but it obviously does throw an interesting wrench in our analysis of things and also in the way that we view this past 2021 season. We knew that Garoppolo got hurt against Dallas, and we knew obviously that he was previously hurt against Tennessee in the regular season. So the first injury against Tennessee was a finger injury, the thumb, the torn thumb ligament, and then the previous injury or the next injury after that was the shoulder injury. And these two things were related because when you saw Garoppolo take a hit in the first half against the Cowboys, he was ginger on his way down because he didn't want to land on the thumb. And because he didn't want to land on his thumb, he hit the shoulder awkwardly and then suffered the separation or whatever it was. Whatever it was does require surgery. I'm sure that we'll find more details on that moving forward. So the two injuries were interconnected, and we also have, a little bit more of an explanation for the ups and downs of performance. Garoppolo was also obviously very good during the regular season, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league this year, and then in the postseason, that efficiency dropped, and it dropped within the game against Dallas. The 49ers came out gangbusters on offense in the first half against the Cowboys, and then Garoppolo really struggled down the stretch. Well, I think that makes sense. He obviously was already dealing with one injury, and then he had a second injury to deal with in the second half. So the performance dropped after the shoulder injury against the Cowboys. Obviously, the Green Bay game now can be viewed in an even more impressive light for the 49ers because they were playing with a QB on the road in Lambeau Field who had two separate injuries, and they were able to get it done as underdogs over the Packers, beat the Packers and the Cowboys in consecutive weeks in the postseason, and then obviously they lost to the Rams in that NFC Championship game. You do have to wonder where the 49ers would have been had their quarterback been healthy, but obviously coulda, shoulda, woulda kind of stuff right now. What ifs won't really help ease the heartbreak of that NFC Championship game loss. All we can do is spin this forward into the future. The 49ers here at the Combine are expected to, start to make some progress as far as sorting out the interest in Jimmy Garoppolo, as far as what they can get, who might be interested, natural landing spot. To me, seems to be a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Colts GM Chris Ballard spoke today and didn't firmly commit to Carson Wentz, so a destination like that is always possible. At the end of the day, this is a quarterback-needy market, right? There's talk about the fact that Trey Lance, if he would have come out this year in the draft, he might have been the top overall pick, and that just shows you that this year, the quarterback class is not nearly as strong as it was last season, and there are a lot of teams that could probably use a plug-and-play veteran like Jimmy Garoppolo. So that gives the 49ers some potential leverage in any trade. So we'll keep our eyes out on who might need a quarterback. We're not expected to get firm answers from anyone talking at the podium during the Combine. But we do know that something like this, something like a Garoppolo shoulder injury, can potentially change the dynamics a bit of what a trade might look like. Schefter did report that Garoppolo is firmly expected back and throwing, though, by July 4th. So from a big picture standpoint, as long as the recovery goes along the initial timeline, the 49ers should be in good shape to still be able to trade Garoppolo if that's the path that they do indeed take. So anyway, I think it just sheds more light, more context onto this 2020 run that the 49ers just went on. You had a situation where they were playing with an injured QB down the stretch, tightrope back, winning games in which they were underdogs. And, from a toughness perspective, I think teams appreciate the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo played. I mean, I know the 49ers do. They appreciate the fact that he played through these injuries, was still able to get it out, still be a key part of these 49ers wins And potential trade suitors, I think, are going to value that as well, because at that most important position, you're going to want a player who can set a standard, set a leadership role, who can guide a locker room. And that's obviously what Garoppolo did with the 49ers. And one of the reasons that he was able to do that with the 49ers is because he was tough, because he was able to play through stuff, because he was able to hang in there, make some of those throws in collapsing pockets, even when he was hurt. So it's all context. It makes that 2021 run, all the more colorful for the 49ers, and it certainly is going to be interesting context and probably even something that helps the 49ers as far as trade value goes for Jimmy Garoppolo, because if he is back by July, if the medical people do confirm that, if the surgery goes well, I don't see any reason why a team would shy away from Garoppolo. If you liked what he brought to the table before, you'll probably like what he brings to the table, after this surgery, assuming he makes a full recovery, not something like an Achilles or an ACL tear that you would, question maybe some quickness or something being lost. I think coming off this shoulder injury, it shouldn't be anything, just from a layman's medical perspective, it shouldn't be anything that scares other teams away. That's assuming that it follows this timeline. So all in all, it's going to be used to make some headlines here today, but that's about it. I think the 49ers are just going to proceed business as usual, entering the Trey Lance era as the new NFL year approaches on March 16th and the news cycle kicks off here at the Combine. Everybody subscribe to the channel. This is the Indiana Convention Center. If you guys want a little bit of a tour, we can give a little bit of a walk. I mean, this is just Convention Center all day. This is the kind of stuff that we see. We walk through, see the church. It's actually a little bit warmer than it has been in recent days. May get up to 60 degrees here in Indy. And there's just a lot of long walking down hallways like this. The interview room's in the back. The press room is over here. And this is where I handle all the news. All right, guys. Thanks. I'm going to go work. Take care.